Welcome back to the Our View podcast. This episode is part of our Super Sports Saturday, a series of episodes that will highlight adaptive sports programs, their athletes, and those who organize these programs. My intention in creating this series of episodes is to bring awareness to the importance of inclusive play and adaptive sports, to show how sports and play are beneficial to all. I hope you enjoy this episode. On today's episode, I welcome two players from the Camden County, New Jersey Miracle League, Brian Vandervars and AJ Gonzales. My first guest on today's episode is Brian and his mom, Karen. Join our conversation as we discuss their connection to the greatest showman, P.T. Barnum, and Brian's love of baseball. I would love to welcome both Brian and his mom, Karen, to the Our View podcast. And we are happy to have you on today and to share your story. So, Brian, I would like for you to start off the interview by introducing yourself and telling people who you are. Who is Brian?
I love playing baseball. I'm the biggest fan of baseball,
Mm-hmm.
and I usually hit a couple of home runs
Yeah.
in the double and the triple. Um,
And where did you work?
I work at the Ability Solutions,
Mhm.
and I'm since 21 years.
Yeah.
I'm 46 now.
You're how old now?
46.
46.
Yep.
What? Oh my gosh.
Isn't that
That's
amazing?
great. Yeah, that is amazing.
Well preserved.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Wow. I didn't know. I keep forgetting you're that old. Wow. So as you said, you love baseball. You are one of our all-star players on the Camden County, New Jersey Miracle League. And you definitely have hit more than a few home runs and some triples and doubles, and you've been one of our key players for most of since the time we've been playing for the 6 years. And the one thing that I really that I know I appreciate, and I know the others who are out at the field um, appreciate about you, is that uh, we used to sing the national anthem. We used to play the national anthem before all of our games. And then one day you asked if you could sing, and you've been singing it for our games ever since. So tell us about the importance of you singing the national anthem, and how does that make you feel every week when you get to sing it before our games?
You feel patriotic.
Yeah.
Yeah, patriotic. And is it good? It's good because everybody cheers for you really loud when you're done. I know. How does that make you feel?
Happy.
Yeah, I see you have a great big smile on your face when you think about it right now, right? Yeah, I know that's one of the I know that, like I said, that's one of the great things for me. And where our field is located, there's a track that a lot of people walk around that surrounds the field and the playground where we play. And whenever Brian starts singing, I know everybody stops whenever they hear Brian start singing. So it's a big thing for not only for our game, but for the for the people surrounding the field, and it makes people come over and see what it is that we're doing at the field. And for Karen, you're there every game, and you're there with your chair, and you you set up right there next to our snack table usually every week. And what can you tell us about the Miracle League and how that has been important to you and to Brian?
Yeah, it's so great because it's one place where the kids can really participate in a physical team sport, and you don't have to try out. Everybody's accepted. Everybody is successful. They love it when the crowd cheers for them. I remember when we first started and there weren't as many kids, and I call them kids. And so we had the little guys all the way up to people Brian's age, and they all played together. And it was really neat to see. And then the Miracle League grew, and we had to have 2 separate games because we had so many people, which I think is really fabulous. So they just love it. It's just such a wonderful outlet for them, and so encouraging. And just to see their smiles when they come on, make it home, it's just wonderful.
Yeah, that is that's a very important thing to mention, that we did. We started the league. It would have been our 6th season, 6th year, starting this fall, and we started with a total of, I believe it was somewhere around 16 or 18 players.
Wow.
And that included children and adults. So at that time, everybody did play together because it was so small we couldn't break the teams up at all. But then we had grown so much in the first from the first year to the second, and then the second to the third year. And we had such good players like yourself, Brian, who were playing on these teams, that we did have to split the teams up according to age. And so I believe it's 13 and older, they all play together. And then if you're younger than 13, you play in our, what we call the minor leagues. And just to see, as you said, the great smiles when they, when they're able to hit the ball, and when they, are able to make it home, and when they hit a home run. Yeah. It's just really, it's really, really great. So it's really, it's a fun time for everybody to come out and connect. And as I mentioned in another interview, we're grateful for the family that we created there. Mm-hmm. And you mentioned certain people's names, and it's just like, oh, how are they doing? And I told you guys some people I had talked to recently that had asked about you, and what you all were up to, and if everything was okay. So we really do. We truly care about each other there, and the last few years of developing our family together with the Miracle League teams.
Yeah, and you know what, I want to say the audience, the people, watching the game, they're as much of part of the family too. And they love cheering for each person, no matter whether they're taking a walk or going around the bases, or whether they're hitting a ball way out of the park, whatever. Everybody's so supportive, and you do feel like a family.
Yeah. That is, that's just the best word, I think, to describe us all. And just, and it's sad that we can't be out there on the field now. And that was the first thing that Brian had asked, like, when are we playing baseball again? When are we going to be back out there? And, so hopefully everything will continue to go well, and we'll be back in the spring, back to playing. So we're really looking forward to that day, and having everybody back out there. Yeah. And
I get lots of questions about, did Arthur write to us yet? When is Arthur writing? When is the baseball starting?
Yeah, we are trying to, keep everybody connected as best as we can. We had some things on Facebook, through the whole quarantine and the shutdown. And so, Brian, do you participate in any other sports besides baseball? Have you ever done it? Like, even if you don't do it currently, have you participated in any other sports?
I used to play basketball, but I quit.
Oh, really? Basketball. How was that? Did you like that? Are you more of a basketball or a baseball fan? That's the question.
Baseball.
Oh, more of a baseball fan. Okay.
We did really well, though. It was with the Buds. And
okay.
Yeah, it was great. The team was getting to be good, right, Barb? Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. A lot of our players that play with the Miracle League, we find that they also are involved in other sports. So sometimes we have players that only play either the fall season or the spring season. And that's because they're involved with other sports in the other seasons. It's always great to hear that the players are involved in more than one activity, and especially sports, to keep everybody active and moving.
Well, he's also a dancer. He's actually taken tap dancing lessons with his sister. So
Really?
they put on a show, the Possibility Players, every other year. So he does some dancing too. So that helps to keep him active.
Oh, well, we will definitely have to have you dance one time
Well,
between games or something, Brian. I didn't know that about you. That's great. Wow. I always like to say I'm a dancer at heart, somewhere inside. I love music. So, everybody's a dancer at heart somewhere.
absolutely. Yep.
Yeah. So, okay, great. So now that I know that, I'll write that down, and we'll have to have you do a tap dance at
Yeah,
some
well,
point.
he's going to be performing to The Greatest Showman. And we're related to P.T. Barnum. So we're keeping it in the
Yes.
family.
Yes. The Greatest Showman. That's right. Yeah, we will definitely put your dancing shoes to good use. Yeah. So what just to wrap this up for either one of you, what would you um what would you say to those what would you say to those in the world about people who live with special needs, and what would you want people in the world to know about those who have special needs?
Do you have anything to say?
No.
No.
I think the thing that I've found throughout the years is sometimes people are either afraid, and I don't mean afraid of the people so much, but not sure how to act or how to react or what they're going to get. So I guess I think I would say try to put that aside and
Hmm.
see the person for the person that they are. And it's always better to try than not try. It's better to try and make a mistake than it is to not try at all.
Yes.
So I just think that it really is enriching when you're able to connect with people of other abilities and
Yes.
be able to interact with them. And you find there's a lot of diamonds in the rough. Some really great personalities out there, some really great viewpoints on stuff, and
Yeah.
it's really exciting.
Yeah, it definitely is. That's definitely so true. Even with my interaction with a lot of the players, I found, like you said, the great personalities that exist among the different players, and it's just, you find out, and you find out like little things. You find out like which players are morning people and which ones are not. Um,
Yeah.
they get to the field and they'll look at you and won't say anything, and then but an hour or so into the game, they're coming over to you and wanting to talk. So it's
Like everybody, we're
yeah,
all.
yep, it's like I get it, like I understand. I'm not a morning person either so much. But yeah, so it is just taking that opportunity, like you said, just to have that experience and to get to know them is really great. And you find, for myself, I have found that uh, working with the Miracle League and creating the teams, and working with Jake's Place, and the whole Miracle League organization, I find that I am truly enriched and blessed by my own, being able to interact and have this time with everybody. And, it's just really enriching my own life. And I find that, we like to think that we're helping other people, but then it's like they end up helping us as well. So
Yeah.
it's
And
all,
there's a whole world out there that many people are not even aware of. I guess it's kind of like if you're a bicyclist, or if you are really into tennis or into snowboarding or something. There's a whole world out there of people with special abilities
mhm.
and what they do and who they are. And you just open up a whole treasure trove when you take a little time to reach out a bit.
Yeah. Yeah, I really can definitely agree with that for sure. But I truly thank you both for your time. I didn't want to hold you up too long, and I thank you for your time. And Brian, thanks so much for joining us and answering questions. And we look forward to seeing you both back out at the field back in the spring. At this time, I would like to welcome my guest, Kristi Gonzales, to the Our View podcast. Kristi is a wife and mother of 3. Her son AJ plays baseball with the Camden County, New Jersey Miracle League, and he is also a player on the Wings of Steel sled hockey team. Join our conversation as we discuss AJ's diagnosis with fibrodysplasia ossificans progressiva and how being a part of 2 sports teams has helped AJ find a place to belong. So thank you for joining me for this podcast episode that will be featured on the Super Sports Saturday series that I'm running for the Our View podcast, where I just, as I mentioned to you before, I talk about disabilities and raising awareness about different disabilities. And through the Super Sports Saturdays, I wanted to talk about adaptive sports and their athletes that participate in their in those sports, to raise awareness and let people know that there are sport programs out there for people with disabilities. So I welcome to my podcast, Kristi Gonzales. Yay.
Having me.
Yeah, I'm so excited to have you on. And I thought about you and your family and AJ just because you all participate in our Miracle League, and your whole family comes out. You and your husband Rico and your daughters, and AJ plays, and it's just it's always great to see you all there every week. And I just wanted to get your perspective on adaptive sport programs. I know AJ, he also plays, is it sled hockey?
Yep.
Yes. So, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, so he also plays sled hockey. I was like, I know I've seen him play some other sport somewhere. But so can you tell us a little bit about yourself and your family and AJ and his diagnosis and what it is and all of that kind of information?
Absolutely. So Rico and I have been together 22, 3 years. Very long time. 3 kids. Alexis, she is a grad student at Temple. Lily is our senior this year in quarantine. Hopefully not too long. And AJ is our 4th grader. So AJ's 9. He'll be 10 on the 14th of October. And, AJ was kind of we call him our miracle baby. We struggled with fertility for years, and we have finally gotten pregnant. And I guess at 22 weeks, we had an ultrasound, and they found a mass on the umbilical cord called barracks of the umbilical cord. So AJ became high risk. And we had also failed your initial Down syndrome screening is what we had failed. So we knew that there was a complication, but due to our miscarriage rate, we weren't able to have an amnio. So AJ was born at 35 weeks, emergency C-section, due to lacking oxygen to his brain. And he was born, and we thought he'd be in the NICU for a little bit, and he wasn't, and he was doing great. He did suffer from periventricular leukomalacia, which is like a little bit of white matter on his brain, and we wouldn't know those effects until later. But everything else seemed okay. I think we noticed something was wrong when he started to crawl. He kind of couldn't hold his head up, and he kind of drug his one side a little bit. And it was just weird little quirky things. Nothing major, nothing that we would say like, hold up, something's, crazy. Just these little flukes here and there. And then it feels like they just kept getting bigger and bigger. And, we kept saying something and nobody really knew what it was. After numerous specialists, we got to genetics at Children's Hospital. And that is where I think that Chop knew right away what he had. So AJ was born with malformed big toes, which is the main marker for FOP. And FOP is fibrodysplasia ossificans progressiva. And what that means is AJ's muscles, tendons, and ligaments are turning to bone, forming a second skeleton that will eventually immobilize him. And AJ was really, he was diagnosed at 2. He was unaffected until he was 5.5. So we had a barbecue in our backyard. The kids were playing squeeze the lemon. He came down, and the way he hit the ground was enough to what we call is wake the FOP beast up. And within 6 weeks, he lost the ability and the motion really to move his back, his neck, and his upper arms, all completely ossified in bone. And from there, it's just kind of been a whirlwind. So we don't have a medicine. AJ takes a compassionate care chemo on a daily basis, trying to slow his progression down in the hopes that someday there will be a medicine. So I think, our world kind of changed. And what you envision, I think, for anybody. And we had never heard of FOP. I think we were kind of blindsided, like, what is that? But it's rare. So AJ is like 1 in 2.5 million. And we happen to live in New Jersey, which we're very thankful because the specialist is at University of Pennsylvania for this disease. So we didn't have to travel far like other families have to do. We're right here. Yeah. So, we really just have kind of taken, I think our lives have slowed down, and we've taken a spin on our normal, I guess you would say, craziness. And we spend a lot of time focusing on making amazing memories. And we want AJ to feel loved, and we want him to never look back and think that he didn't get to do the things that everybody else is doing. And if he wants to do something, we'll figure out a way.
Yeah. Yeah. I know, knowing you all for the last few years, playing the Miracle League baseball, I think, not just for myself, but I know for many people that come out to the field, we look forward to you all being there every week. And, with AJ and when he hits the balls and runs the bases, and Rico there to hassle the pitcher and everything. And, it's all just, it's a great feeling to have you all involved in the Miracle League. So I would like to ask you, what do you feel is, what does AJ and what does your family get out of participating in adaptive sport programs like the Miracle League and also the sled hockey?
I think it's a sense of belonging. It's a sense of being a team and being a team player. It's hard, I think, when when they're this age and they want to do what everybody else is doing, and you're trying to figure out a safe way. And I think we were nervous. I'm sure you saw us, pure panicked. Like, we're not really sure we're going to send our, our guy out in this baseball field, and we don't know what's going to happen. But we make it work. Mm-hmm. And I think it's pure happiness and joy. Like, I can't imagine him not having that and not having those moments, so poor Steve has to pitch the ball the reverse way for him, because AJ can't move his neck, and it works. And he hits it and he runs, and the excitement of all the kids is just phenomenal.
Yeah, and it's so funny. You mentioned Steve having to pitch from the side for AJ. When I interviewed him and Terry the other day, we talked about that, and I said it really goes to show Steve and how he pays attention, because some players he has to step back a little further and pitch from far away because they can really hit a ball fast and hard. Other players he moves closer to them, and for players like AJ, he'll come right up to him and pitch from the side just so.
Right.
And it works because AJ has hit, he hits the ball. So we
it's huge. It's that sense of feeling and being part of something, and everybody cheering and hearing your name called, and all the kids, just the excitement and running, and the volunteers yelling, and the feeling is, I can't, I don't know that I can even explain how good it is. I mean, my girlfriends had come to the game and they were like, okay, you didn't say it would be this emotional and this exciting all this time. I'm like, I told you. I can't explain it. But it is. It's, I think all children need that. And I mean, I think that's what the Miracle League is giving them, and the Wings of Steel. It's just that chance to be part of something, and to be a team, and to be a player. And that's huge.
Yeah. It's a sense of belonging, and to be a part of a team, and to see other people who look like them. And I think I talked about it on another episode of my podcast. I think I have a very large family, so all of my friends were my family members, but none of them had disabilities. So I never really saw people with disability who walked with crutches or used a wheelchair like I did. So having these adaptive sport programs currently these days is really very important. When I was younger, and I'll be 39 next month, it I don't know if these types of sport programs were available or not, but if they were very difficult to find. So so now that I think with social media, of course, helping, because everybody has a page. Everybody has a Instagram page or a Facebook page where you can go and see what they're what they're doing. So I think it's very helpful to spread awareness, and to raise that awareness about these programs that exist.
I think it's huge. I mean, our girls danced, and Lily runs cross country and track. So this was totally out of our normal and to us. So, but it's amazing, and just being able to share it, and then have other kids that we know, who are disabled, be able to come out and enjoy it too, has been huge.
To wrap up the interview, I like to end all of my interviews by asking the question, what do you want others to know about those who live with disabilities? And for you can add in for FOP, or just in general, or however you want to answer.
So I think that the best advice I was ever given for AJ, and I think to me it would go for anybody, was, an FOP mom had said to me, when AJ was first diagnosed, that if we treat him like he's disabled, he will be. And if we treat him that he's capable of the world and give him those options, then we will see something different. And I think, that's really what we've been trying to do, is just give him these opportunities. Whether it's just being around people who are like him, or playing in the Miracle League, or playing, in the Wings of Steel. I think it's huge for kids to have that outlet. And I think it's changed AJ to be around other children and adults with disabilities, to really understand and know that he's not alone.
Yeah, I think that's so true, about not treating people as if they have a disability, and realizing and acknowledging their capabilities is such a game changer.
really is. And I kind of, looked at her like, what? Like, but you know what? We do. And I think that's kind of our motto, and that's how we live. Like, we'll figure it out.
Right. Yeah, it's really it really is. It's such a game changer. And with growing up, I can remember with my mom and dad, my mom was always more cautious about, things and me doing things. And my dad was the type to say, things like, oh, I know your legs don't work, but we're going to teach you how to swim. And we have a 9-foot pool in the backyard, and that's where you're going to learn how to swim. My mom's like, no, he's not.
I always tell this story, Art, and you will totally understand this. But when AJ did the Wings of Steel, it was something Rico was taking him just to look at. Like, okay, we were kind of like, oh no, AJ can't play hockey. And they were like, no, he can. And we were like, oh no, he is excellent. And they were like, we have children with all different disabilities and brittle bone and things like that, and they play. And, when there's a will, there's a way. And I was kind of like, okay, lady, I don't think so. And I said to Rico, just go see. You know what I mean? And they called, I worked in Philadelphia at the time, and I was just leaving work, and they called me on FaceTime, and he was suited up on a sled on the ice. And they were like, look at him. And I was screaming, run for the Paco station. Don't you dare. Don't you dare. He was not supposed to be watching. And Rico was like, it looked good. They were safe. I let them do it. I thought I was going to have a breakdown. The long 24-minute train ride of my life.
It's like he was just going to watch. Like,
I'm like, you're just watching and getting some information. But you know what? It's turned out to be something amazing that I never even knew of.
mm-hmm.
Another adaptive sport that's changed our world.
Yeah. I really I think it's amazing what they do with the sled hockey. I've been to a few games, and I'm just like, wow, like this is really cool. Speaking of the Wings of Steel sled hockey team, I interviewed Kai, and he has encouraged me to try out for their adult sled hockey team.
We're really trying hard.
So
we have to bite the bullet.
I told him, I said, I will not say I will commit to it, but I will try it in 2021 when everything is back to, practicing and everything. I said, I will try it. I said, I'm not committing.
You should have come out to where the kids played the parent. I don't think I ever stayed up on the sled. I was always on my side. It was quite embarrassing.
Yeah, I told him, I said, I won't commit, I'm not saying I'm going to do it forever, but I will try it. He says, okay. And he said, well, you told all your listeners now, so you have to do it. So,
very smart.
So now I'm saying it twice. And so, so I will try that.
Down.
Yes. Yes. So I will try it for sure.
It blows my mind.
Yeah. It's like, this is really, really cool. Like it's really, really great, the programs that they have developed, and, the great dedication of the people who created, the sled hockey and the National Miracle League. I think, to see the need for it and to figure out a way to adapt it to people who have disabilities is really, really important, and definitely needs to be acknowledged for sure. So it's really, it's really great to be a part of the Miracle League, and like I said, it's great to have your whole family involved with with the Miracle League, and seeing you and hanging out with you guys every week. It's so much fun. Yeah, but can you just for to add into this, can you give the information about FOP, like their website and all that kind of information?
So it's the ifop.org, which is the International FOP Association. And we have a great website and great information. Of course, they're on Facebook also. which is the IFOPA. And that's where you can get more information on FOP and see what's going on in our world.
Great. Yeah, that's I really wanted to, I really want to make sure that people find out more information about that, the IFOP, and just to to raise awareness about it, because as you said, it's a very rare diagnosis, and you never know who might hear this and want to
You don't. And I mean, people, are being, things like this are what bring awareness. And,
Mhm.
You don't know who's going to see it. And then somebody's going to know somebody. And that's really, I mean, how, other people have been diagnosed with FOP.
Right.
So I believe there's less than 800 in the United States.
Wow.
So, and that's really, it's things like this that help spread awareness.
Yeah. I really I appreciate you all. Your whole family is always so very kind to me. So I appreciate you all. And I thank you again for your time, and for doing this interview with me. And I will hopefully be seeing everybody in the spring for baseball again, if everything clears up. Yes, fingers crossed for sure. But so again, thank you for your time, and I will be in touch.
All right. Thanks, Art.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Our View Podcast. Be sure to subscribe to the Our View Podcast on Anchor, Apple Podcast, or Spotify. New episodes will be released on the 15th and 30th of every month. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube at Our View for Life. That's OURVIEW, the number 4, LIFE. Do you want to help change the tone of conversation among your family and friends? Head over to our website for some Our View merchandise. Our website is www.our-view.com/merchandise. I thank you for listening. Have a great day and take care.